Bob, how do I sound? Am I in the ballpark?
You betcha.
All right, let's do it. Good evening, folks. This is K5LYN. My name's Lynn. I'm in Austin. And we get together on Wednesday evenings and operate radios from the early days of single sideband. I'm on the cheap and easy SSB, which was built on the carcass of a BC-458 aircraft World War II radio. And it now has a phasing type exciter in there, built around the original VFO and output tube 1625s. And I'm listening on another homebrew piece of equipment, the receiver built by KG7TR. Buy-sell trades are appropriate if they're vintage radio related. And if any of us are not where we need to be in terms of the operating frequency, let us know, because we can work on that. And I always appreciate match recordings when I hear myself and I say, I didn't get that quite right. Maybe better next time. Okay, we got a list here of people I'm going to talk to, and we'll give it to Jay, and we'll find out if Rusty's here. And after that, I'll do some more zero beating. So, N5JJI, Ed, I heard you before anybody else. How about it? You still there? K5LYN. Well, we'll come back to Ed then. How about Mr. Tom on the Central Electronics, KC5L? What do you say, Tom?
Which is in the right spot now. This is Ed in New Brunswick. I'm running my Heathkit HW101 into a Heathkit SW20 or SB201 into the Dentron Super Tuner 450 ohm line out to an inverted V up about 45 feet. And I'm probably doing 350 watts or so, nothing special. That's it from this end. N5JJI, back to net.
Very nicely done, Ed. Maybe I'll learn to give people a little bit of warning before I call that person first. Good to hear you. Nice signal into Austin. KC5L, what do you say, Tom?
Hey, good evening, Lynn, and everyone on the net. Tom, KC5L in San Antonio. And tonight, we're on the usual here. We're talking on the Central Electronics 200V with the D104 microphone. And it's driving a Central Electronics 600L amplifier. And that's going to a Johnson KW Matchbox and a homebrew doublet up about 15 feet. And we're listening on the R390A, which I have zero-beated to a modern rig that's traceable to NIST, and you sound right on frequency. So that's about all I have here, Lynn. Back to you, KC5L.
Okay, all right, Tom. Beautiful signal into Austin. And while I've got you as a Central Electronics person here, you know, QST had an article in the current issue saying that a company called Eldeco built a homebrewed, built their version of a homebrewed radio called the SSB Junior, and it was the first sideband exciter. And I said, I don't think that's right. I sent the guy an email yesterday. He hadn't answered me yet. So maybe we're just going to have to keep talking about that. Over.
Well, I tried looking that up, and I couldn't conclusively find that transceiver had ever been produced. So I don't know. It was advertised, but did anyone buy one? I guess that's the question.
There were several early single sideband exciters that were advertised in the magazines that the company never got them out. And I think that may be the case on that deal. We will continue to pursue the question, and I don't think anybody has ever heard of one of those in its physical presence. We'll keep searching. Good to hear you, Tom. Beautiful signal. Anything else for the net today?
Nope, that's all I got. KC5L.
All right, how about Lyle, K5LT? What do you say, Lyle?
Well, good evening, Lynn, and everyone else on the net. This is Lyle, Lima Yankee Lima Echo, K5LT, located outside of Bernie, Texas. About 35 miles north of San Antonio up in the hill country. And tonight we're running the usual, running the Heathkit SB101 to the Heathkit SB221 amplifier out to the double extended ZEP antenna running through the cedar trees. So everything is good here. Thank you, Lynn, for running the net tonight. Everybody's sounding good so far. And band sounds like it's in good shape. So hopefully we'll get a little rain tomorrow because it's awful dry and they put us back in the burn band and I got brush piles ready to burn. So I'm ready for some rain. So other than that, everything's good. Back to you, Lynn. K5LT.
I don't want the wind, though. I don't want any more power outages, but the rain would be nice. I agree with you 100%. We're still running up short there. So we'll see what happens to us tomorrow. WB5TXW, talk to us, George.
Hello, Lynn, and all around down the net for the finest hour of amateur radio for the week from WB5TXW on the S-line. The usual stuff, 32S175S3, 30L1, power supply, the speaker box, up to the 2060 antenna tuner and out to the 450 ohm twin lead to the 66 feet per side, 75 meter dipole out in the woods there that you know about. And I think everything's been working. Over.
Sounds great, George. You've never missed the boat as far as I know.
Well, it's nice to have reliable radios, isn't it? WB5TXW back to net.
Yes, I agree. With replaceable parts, for sure. All right, we'll be in touch. How about W5DK, Don? All right, I know Don's down there somewhere. Well, maybe he'll come back and let us know. K5CXG, hey, Bob, how about you?
I'm here, K5CXG, out here at San Angelo. Not doing a whole lot. We're supposed to get this bad winds tomorrow, so we'll see what happens out here in West Texas. I'm sure we probably will. We always do this time of year. Anyway, we're on the 830, going into a 30L1, going into a Merch tuner, and a little old Birdie V, not very far off the ground, about 20 feet, something like that. And that's what we're running. And I set this 830 up here last week to get in the boat anchors net, and I never took it down off the desk. I did all the other ham activities with the 830 for a whole week, so you know, it it holds right in there with the new stuff. Anyway, everybody have a good week. Catch y'all next time, KA5CXG.
Sounded great, Bob. And yeah, we'll all be watching the wind tomorrow. Okay, let's see. How about my neighbor, KE5Q, Jim?
Yeah, K5LYN and the net KE5Q remote in Austin on the usual remote station, which is not the TS530S. This is the ICOM 7300, and we are driving the boat anchor Clipperton L, and that's going into the Ultimax 8040 antenna. So that's the radio here, and I do have the tuner on, which does help a little bit on this Clipperton L. Anyway, we'll see what happens with the weather up in Plano as well as here in Austin. And we are just across the river here, and they're just south of downtown, about a mile, right next to Zilker Park. K5LYN. This is KE5Q Remote.
That's a nice part of town, Jim. Hey, how long were they without electricity there? Did they lose theirs there also?
Negative. They did not. That's what I was saying. My son said if he hadn't had the generator, he would have lost electricity.
Well, they can count their blessings. Electricity's better than a generator, but we got by. All right, moving on. AG5XP, Kenneth.
Yeah, thank you then for picking me up. Another moderator putting this thing here on. Tonight I'm on the old TS530S Kenwood, and got it going to the old helicopter 33A, and got the D104 user interface. No HitKit 2040 tuner, and going out to a homebrew G5 RV antenna, kind of zigzagging every which way there is, but it seems to be working. That's what we got up here in the little town of Brownwood. Back to you, Lynn, AG5XP.
Nice signal, Kenneth, absolutely. Okay, I got one more guy, then I'm going to give this thing to Jay, and I'll be checking my frequency about that time, too. AI5OS, hey, Justin, tell us about that new amplifier you got going.
All righty, I'm just going to make sure I've got it here. Okay, yeah, so this is AI5OS. I'm on the 520SC running, driving this Gonset GSB 201 amplifier, going out through a Heathkit 2060 Alpha and driving over to an NFET half wave up at about 45 feet here. And just really enjoying this amp. We're doing about 350, 400 watts, and this amp is working great. We had it capped. We had a new bias transformer put in, and it seems to be working well. Definitely going to look at trying to get a spare set of 811As for it, just so we can have those around in case one of these tubes don't quite work. So anyway, certainly appreciate it. This is AI5OS.
Did it come with those tubes, or did you get some replacements?
No, this is the tubes that came in this.
Okay. Well, they're going to do you a great job, And if you put a little tuner between the exciter and the amplifier, you may get some more watts out of that. So I wouldn't let those go too soon, and 811As are easy to come by. Okay, nicely done, Justin. Anything else for the net tonight?
Yeah, I am looking, actually, if anybody knows a good place to get some crystals. I'd like to, as I understand it, I may have some crystals, extra spots for some crystals I can get for my Drake B-line that will allow it to handle the work bands if I want it. So, be curious if anybody knows where I might find those.
There was a guy called AF4K, and he died. But his family has replaced him, and he is supplying crystals. Look up AF4K and see if I'm telling you right.
Roger. I can definitely do that.
I think I'm telling you right. If not, send me an email and tell me to get it right next time. Good to hear you, Justin. KM5QS. Jay, straighten us out.
Well, good luck with that. But all right. This is me, Jay, KM5QS, and I am, of course, since I was running late, I'm on the modern rig, but the amplifier almost, I think it was made in the 70s, so old Alpha could be a boat anchor, and antenna tuner and the antenna are all homebrew, so whatever, hopefully it qualifies. Let me see here. Let me back up a little bit and see if Don, W5DK, is back in here.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. And sorry, there's a little snafu. I don't know what happened here. W5DK, and I'm in Spring Branch, Bulverde, the pretty Spring Branch Hill Country, Comal County. And I'm on my normal Drake TR4 transceiver today again, and D104 microphone. And I am running power through an L4 amp, pretty much full legal, and out to a double extended ZEP. So good to hear everybody. Hope everybody has a good evening. Back to you, Jay. Thank you. W5DK.
Man, that Drake is sounding good. 30 over down here, crystal clear. I thought I tuned into a local broadcast station there for a minute. Thing sounds good. All right, Don, good deal. Yeah, I thought I heard a click or something when Lynn called you a while ago, so I figured you'd probably be waiting. All righty, thank you, sir. And looking forward to seeing everybody at Belton in about a month and 10 days or so. Anyhow, all right, I don't have a list, so who's next for the Boat Anchors Unlimited?
November 5, Papa Foxtrot. Whiskey, Oscar, Zulu.
Okay, I'll pick up Phil, and then I'll go to Dan. So go ahead, Phil.
Good evening, Jay and Lynn. Having trouble copying you guys. You're pretty loud, Jay. But everybody else, there's a storm in Arkansas, and the static crashes are coming fast. And I'm picking up words in between it, and the static is louder than you guys. Arkansas is catching it right now. We're okay, but I can't hardly hear. It's getting rough on this radio. This is Sal, Papa Hotel, India Lima. Call is November 5, Papa Foxtrot. I'm located near Vicksburg, Mississippi. Running a KWM2 with a 312B5 outboard VFO. A Howell Goldline microphone, a Collins 30L1, and a cage dipole at 50 feet. And back to net. This is N5PL.
Okay, Phil. Good deal. Well, I'm doing almost legal limit, within 50 watts or so anyway, but and you're loud down here, so it's no problem. But I know what the deal is with the static crashes. So, oh man, there's going to be another one coming through. Oh, when is it? A couple of days. Maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe it'll clear stuff up for a while. All right, thank you, Phil, for checking in. I heard you, Dan. K8WOZ. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Jay, and all the other boat anchors. Signals are doing good. A lot of scratching on there, but everybody sounds good so far. This is Dan, K8WLZM in Houston. Just running a Kenwood TS830. It's a different one than I usually have, and driving a Heathkit SB200 that's doing about 600. I could do more. I'm only putting 50 watts into it, so it's pretty good at 600. I know it'll do about 750 or 8 if you push it up to 100 watts, but what for? Let's see. Oh, I got a couple of quick things. Justin, they're looking for the crystals. Yes, AF4K. That's Alpha Foxtrot 4 Kilo. That business is still in business. A fellow named Steve, whose call is Whiskey Delta 8 Delta Alpha Sierra WD8 DAS, is now running it, and I've bought quite a few crystals from him since he took it over, and he had everything I needed. In the website that you can get a hold of them is www.af4k-crystals.com/. So that's the best place to go to get those crystals, Justin. He's got those for the Drake in inventory, by the way. And let's see, what else? So I'm going to go to that, I hope, that Rosenberg Hamfest this weekend down in south side of Houston, south of Houston. And I'm going to be taking this 30L, or this, not 30L, this Heathkit SB200 along. It's in beautiful shape inside and out. Got good output. It's got C-trons in it, and it's really in pretty decent shape. And I'm also going to be bringing a Kenwood 830, probably this one right here that I fixed up from a dog some time back. I had it for many years, just never put any time into it. Anyway, if anybody's interested, just give me a call, but I'll be dragging these to Rosenberg, I think. KWOZ, back to that.
Okay, Dan, good deal. Well, that amp's sounding great, and the radio too, for that matter. But you're 20 over plus down here, so of course we're only 240 miles apart, so you know, big deal. Just kidding. All right, thank you, Dan. Let's see. I'm not gonna make it to Rosenberg. I'm saving my energy and money up for Belton, but y'all have fun up there. Okay, who's next for the Boat Anchors Unlimited?
November 0, Golf Victor Kilo.
Okay, Kurt, go ahead.
Good evening, Rusty and the Net. This is N0GBK. Kurt up here in south central Nebraska. And tonight, Rusty, I'm on my high gain Galaxy GT550 Alpha. Got a 444 mic on that. Got the matching speaker, DFO, power meter, and rotor control box for the roto brake. And running that into the high gain Galaxy 2000 amplifier. About 500-600 watts into the off-center fit antenna for about 30 feet. Thanks, Rusty, for letting me jump in. This is N0GBK.
Not a problem, Kurt. 10 over in South Texas and sounding fine. 100% copy, no problems. That old Galaxy's doing its thing. Thank you, sir, for checking in. All right, who's next?
WB5 Delta Yankee Alpha.
Alrighty, go ahead, Cliff.
Good evening. Good evening to the net from WB5 DY8. Cliff here in Cedar Park. We're on the Kenwood tonight with the AL80B and a fan dipole at about 50 feet. Everyone has a wonderful signal and the noise is down, a little bit static. However, it's just a good night to be on the radio. Back to net control, WB5DYA.
All right. Well, thank you, Cliff. And it's always a good night to be on the radio. Well, most things considered anyway. Oh, me. Thank you, sir. You're sounding good. All right. Anyone else for the boat anchors? Come now.
Kilo 5 Sierra Alpha Charlie.
Whiskey 6, Mike Whiskey Sierra.
All righty. Let me make sure I get... Okay. Norman, go ahead.
Well, good evening. This is K5SAC Norman in Nederland, Texas, using the usual KWM2 30L1 homebrew dipole up about 30 feet, I guess, on the old flagpole. Had a great time Saturday at the Orange Ham Fest. Took a couple of little goodies home with me to play with, and it's always nice when you can find some little toy to bring home. And guess who I got to meet? The rusty WK5R. So that perhaps was the highlight of the Ham Fest. That's it from here.
Oh, well, I'm glad you survived the experience. No, I'm just kidding. Rusty's pretty good guy most of the time, but and the rest of the time we don't talk about, so it's okay. Thank you, Norm, for checking in. As usual, your signal, the quality of your transmission is unimpeachable. So, thank you, sir. Keep up the good work. Whiskey 6, let me start over. Whiskey 6, Mike Whiskey Sierra. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, you got it right, Rusty. Anyway, good evening. Marshall here, and I am in Arlington, Texas tonight, using the Kenwood 830 with the MC60, and going into the Henry 2K, and then out to the 75-meter full loop, and just waiting for the storms to hit. I don't think they're going to hit tonight, but they certainly seem like they're going to tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. But I thought I'd check in with you and say hi and thank you for running the net. So back to you, Rusty.
Well, all right. This is Jay, but that's okay. Sometimes on the radio, sometimes you can't tell us apart, except, well, no, we won't go there. But anyway. All right, thank you, Marshall. I'm trying to remember what I'm not going to try to do the weatherman thing because I was watching it a while ago, and I know there's a front out west that'll be here in tomorrow sometime. There may be another one in between, so I don't know. Anyway, good luck with it. I just need some rain. If we don't get some rain down here, things going to dry up and blow away. All right, who's next for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now. N5WJA. Go ahead, Jim.
N5WJA. Just wanted to check in and add to your numbers, Jay. I'm on my 890.
All righty. Well, you has been checked in, so we'll catch you later. And Rusty, are you on board this evening?
Yeah, I'm here. You better watch it. All right, Jay.
Oh, okay. Got to protect yourself, huh? Well, since I've done one more than Lynn did, maybe you ought to take a turn before we use them all up. How about that?
Well, I can do that.
All righty. K5QS WK5R.
My guy Kurt up there in Nebraska, so I don't know. There may be some others lurking out there in them faraway states. We'll see. Anyway, this is WK5R with the Boat Anchors Unlimited net, and I'm running the usual stuff. I still don't have my boat anchors fixed. Still on the Kenwood TS590S, the Tascam TM70 microphone made by TIAC, and driving the homebrew GS35B amplifier to a homebrew fan dipole. That was about 1,300 or so there. So anyway, with that, who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now. Anybody out there, anywhere for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
Yankee 5, Uniform Mike. Kilo,
W5UM, go ahead.
Alpha. Yeah, this is W5UM.
Alpha, that's the W5 Uniform Mike, go ahead.
L82, that's what we got here for the amp. I was just checking this thing out. Thanks for picking me up. 73, W5UM.
No, alrighty. Okay, who was the station ending in Alpha?
Kilo 5 Lima Alpha.
All right, go ahead, Doug.
All right, good evening, Rusty, and everybody out there. Band's doing pretty good tonight. Tonight we're on the usual KWM2 with 516 power supply. Everything's original, all tubes. We're running out to the homemade inverted V up about 65 feet. And I guess that's about it. Thanks for being there. This is KK5 LA.
All right, Doug, your Collins is sounding good there. We'll catch you next time. Who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now. Anybody, anywhere, and you do not have to be on a boat anchor as long as you're interested in what we're doing here.
WV50
Boat Anchors Unlimited net. Come now.
Do it again, Don.
WV50
Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, just running here. WV50ZZ, Duke Haney. I run at 8:30 and Kenwood TL922A and a double bazooka, 45 feet. Over.
Roger. Sounded good as usual, Don.
Thank you.
All right. Who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now. Anybody, anywhere for the Boat Anchors Unlimited net? Come now. Well, that didn't last very long. K5LYN WK5R. Are you there, Liz?
Well, let's see. Rusty, what do you make of it? Am I here?
Yeah, I believe you're there.
All right. Well, maybe we're so efficient we get through the list in a hurry tonight. I don't know what the deal might be on that. This is K5LYN, Lynn in Austin, on what I think may be the only all-homebrew vacuum tube single sideband station in the world, built by KG7TR in the early part of the 21st century. And it dates all the way back to the Second World War, when the chassis that this transmitter was built on survived a encounter with the Germans in an aircraft carrier. No, in an aircraft, maybe a bomber. And now we're talking on it here today, all these years later. Anybody else want to talk vintage radio with us? K5LYN, listening?
Alpha 5 Romeo.
Okay, Alpha 5. I'm not going to hear you really well, but give it a try. Alpha 5 Foxtrot, I think. Go ahead.
This is D-Roy. Alpha 5 Romeo, Lynn, over.
D-Roy, now I'm hearing you fine, but I didn't at first there. How you doing?
Doing fine. Talking on the Orion tonight. Waiting for the storm to come, but everything's fine, over.
Yeah, you're sounding great. Glad you came by to say hello. Yeah, well, most of us have gotten all of our tree branches cut and loaded and stacked and picked up by the city. And here we go again tomorrow. They're threatening with 40 and 50 mile an hour winds, so we may be going through all this again.
Well, sounds good to me. Bring it on. Let's get it all over with before all the spring growth, occurs. And a little rain would help too, so bring it on.
Hey, while you got it, tell us a little bit about the Winterfest you went to and what all was discussed up there.
Well, of course, Central Electronics was prominent, and Bob Sherwood had a really good presentation on what you can do these days as a ham. Since a lot of the new rigs, you just can't really get in and service them or work on them or build them anymore up to the same quality as you can buy for less money than you could build. But he had some good ideas about how you could put together a software-defined radio, with Aquino or Raspberry Pi and public software that you could modify yourself, just a new way of being a do-it-yourself ham radio operator and not just an appliance operator. And he demonstrated it. While we were having his presentation, he was plugging his little modules together and loading the software on a computer and tuning in some of the local radio stations and ham bands. So anyway, that was kind of enlightening, a modern way to be a beginning ham radio operator. Pretty good attendance. The weather was good for the season. The night, Thursday night, I think it was down around 22 degrees, and the wind was blowing, so that was interesting. The banquet was good. They had a really nice venue for the banquet over on the south side of St. Louis, and food was good over there. And there was lots of boat anchors for sale. Saw a really nice-looking Ranger 2, but I don't know how it was technically, but it sure looked good on the outside. And the fellow only wanted, a couple of $100 plus a little bit more, less than $300. I don't remember the right price, but anyway, there were similar things like that offered. Thing that caught my eye was there were 3 national SW-54 shortwave receivers by 3 different people, scattered around the flea market. And that's the radio that got me interested in shortwave listening and ham radio back in the 50s. But I resisted the urge to buy one of them to put on the shelf. I didn't figure I would use it, but it would have been a good conversation piece to tell folks that come to visit, how I got started. I don't know any specific questions. Those are just off the top of my head, Lynn. This is AA5R.
Yeah, that was a great summary, D-Roy. And Sherwood always does a nice presentation. I've been at our shows twice when he was the presenter. And I think Winterfest is the best place we've ever had those meetings. So I hope they will do it in subsequent years. Any rumors of that?
Well, I don't know for sure. I hope so. Bob Heil was not able to attend because of his illness, but he was very generous in making it happen. And so hopefully someone will step up, or it'll be possible for to spread the burden around the group or whatever to continue. Oh, one thing I didn't mention was there was at least 3 presentations on 3D printing. And you might think, 3D printing's not ham radio or boat anchor, but if you've got a knob that's missing and there's just no way to get a replacement, you can just make your own, with a 3D printer. And so there were some good presentations about avoiding the pitfalls of buying the cheapest one, because it'll end up costing you more in the end, and you still won't be able to turn out as good a product. And also about how to find the programs to tell the 3D printer to print what you want to print, such as insulators or knobs or front panels, just all kinds of things that folks, the presenters anyway, and some of the folks in the audience who had been doing 3D printing showed just what could be done. So anyway, that was pretty good too. I didn't expect that to be part of the presentations, but there was one in the Hamfest itself, or 2, and then there was one that was in the Friday presentation. So anyway, made me take a look at 3D printing, but I haven't gotten involved in it. Maybe one of these days. This is AA5R.
All right, dear Rory. Well, thank you for letting us know there. I've only missed 2 of Nick's symposiums. That was the second one, and I hated it, but I had stuff I had to do here. So glad you got up there and had a good time and gave us a report. Thank you. All right, let's see. Anybody else want to talk to me about vintage radio this evening? K5LYN, listening?
WB4TW, checking in.
Okay, call me again. TW, something like that?
Affirmative. WB4 Tango Whiskey, Universal City.
Okay, Tango Whiskey, talk to us.
Roger, I've been scrambling around here trying to switch out this center-fed dipole here. I was trying to check in earlier and wonder why this thing's crackling and popping. Look like one of those old Jiffy Pops. Anyway, that's a good thing about a Yaesu. I'm right here outside of Randolph Air Force Base with a Yaesu FT-101EE Echo. And the original microphone, I think, is the 844. Anyway, just wanted to check in and see if this thing works on 80 meters again.
Okay. I got about 75% copy, so I missed a little bit of that. We got a little noise maybe from the storm coming in here tomorrow, but I'm glad you came by, and we're here every Wednesday, so give us a call again sometime, okay?
Well, Carl, I appreciate y'all being regular like this. I planned for it, but the antenna did not. Hi. Thank you.
Well, you're on the air. Absolutely. All right. Who else for the net this evening? K5LYN, listening?
Whiskey Alpha 5 Delta Sierra.
DSS, talk to us.
Yeah, WA5 DSS. It's Bill in Kerrville, and we're on a KWM2 winged emblem, manufactured somewhere around 68. Also have a 30L1. Anyway, I had tuned all up at about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then got doing things and forgot to get in for all the action. Sorry about that. I'll try to be a little bit more prompt in the future. WA5 DSS.
Nice signal, Bill, and yeah, I looked on my older version of my cheat notes, and there you were. So we've been missing you. Come by more often, will you?
Yeah, I will try to. Things. There's other activities that we participate in that sometimes consume our Wednesday evenings, but I would really like to check in more than I get time to. And I've got a couple other boat anchors that are sitting around that need to be fixed up and get on the air. Anyway, this is WA5 DSS. Thanks for picking me up.
Okay, Bill, if you need any help on those other radios, a lot of expertise to be found here. So come by. All right, who else for the net? K5LYN, listening?
WB5DYA.
What do you say, Cliff?
Hey, I'm still looking for some local talent that knows a lot about R388s, has a lot of interest, and so I need to visit with someone local that could fit that bill.
Okay. Well, let's just put that out there. WB5DYA needs to talk about R388s, and I wouldn't be one of them, Cliff, but maybe somebody's hearing us.
Well, let's hope so. I've got some of them, and I don't know what to do with them.
Well, the other thing, get on the web and see if you can generate some interest there. I'd put that in there at Google and see what comes up.
Okay. Well, I was hoping to do, something strong local, but you're right. The internet has much broader customer base.
Comment?
Yeah, that's a small group of people that are into those, and there is a military radio group that is into that vintage era also, but you may be better on the internet than locally. Anyway, good to hear you, Cliff. Anything else for the group this evening?
No, I think Jay had a comment.
Jay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, from previous experience, you can find a lot of information about those rigs, including the maintenance and manuals and stuff like that online that are downloadable.
Well, I'm looking for an interested person.
Yeah, no, I understand. There's nothing like somebody with experience. I understand that too, but just thought I'd throw that out there.
Thank you very much.
Jay, why don't you see if anybody else wants to talk? I've covered the territory again.
Well, alrighty. We'll see what we can see if there's anybody that's wandered in. This is JKM5QS, and this is the Wednesday night Boat Anchors Unlimited. Anyone else out there that would like to participate, come now.
I have a question, Jack.
Can somebody hear that station?
Yeah, it's WB4TW. Can you hear me down here in Universal City?
I have a very, very light copy on you, sir. I can't quite tell what you're saying.
That's WB4TW in Universal City.
WB4, say again?
He said WB4 Tango Whiskey in Universal City. I don't hear him either.
Roger, just tuning up thing here. Give me a little bit of fit. We'll catch you later.
Okay, well, maybe it'll be stronger another night without all these thunderstorms.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, the Orion was pulling him through, but just barely.
Where is Universal City?
San Antonio.
Oh, well, there's something wrong then. I'm only 150 miles from there.
Well, you probably don't have an Orion.
WA5SL.
I heard him on a Kenwood.
And I'm not going to throw rocks at the Orion, but I do think this 990 is capable.
I heard him on the Kenwood, D-Roy, so much for that.
Hello, Scott.
Yeah, but you've got an 890, and Jay's only got a 990.
Hey, Scott.
All right. Okay, well, better luck next time, WB4TW Universal City. I still think either you're operating QRP or your antenna's laying down. Something's not right, but that's, I can't see it, so I don't know. Maybe next time. But try us again. We're here every Wednesday night. Is there anyone else that would like to check in?
I'd like to give a shot to getting with Lynn there, WA5SL.
Well, go ahead.
Lynn, are you still hanging in there, and can you copy me?
I hear you just fine.
Take a look at your email there. I sent you a little link there on the Eldeco there, over.
Okay, I sure will. I'll wait till after the net, but yes, sir, I sure will check it out.
Not much to it, but it's something.
Well, the question we're dealing with on that is we know it was advertised. We know who designed it. In fact, a fellow over in Sixth Land or Seventh Land built one in recent times. But what we can't figure out, was it ever actually produced?
Well, what I sent you is all I can find.
Okay, I sure will check it out. Thank you a lot. Back to you, Jay.
Thanks for letting me butt in, WA5SL.
Sure, no problem. Okay, Eldeco. I remember the name. I know they made a bunch of stuff, but I don't know anything about that particular model. But anyway. All right, anyone else for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now. Rusty, I think I hear that fat lady calling your name.
Might very well. Okay, folks. This is WK5R, and this will be the last call for the Boat Anchors Unlimited. Anybody else left out there that wants to check in before we close the net down, come now. I think I heard somebody there, but there's no way I can copy him. All right, one more time. Last call for the Boat Anchors Unlimited net. Oh, we're going to shut her down. I hear nobody. So thank everybody for checking in on a noisy night. And Bill was right. The storms are up in Arkansas. It's putting out all the noise right now. The one out west coming in, I looked, and it's still over in Arizona. So anyway, we'll look for y'all all next week. Oh, this is WK5R, now closing the Boat Anchors Unlimited net and return the frequency to normal amateur abuse.